Hey everyone, it's time for Good Week Israel, where we'll give you ILTV's latest positive highlights. So get ready to smile because coming up, an Israeli artist creates surreal cell phone photographs from around the country. We visit an event that combines art and food, and finally, what makes cheese kosher or not? Stay tuned to find out. While most Israelis remained confined in their homes during the coronavirus outbreak, Israeli photographer Eitan Aslaf toured the country to capture surreal photographs, but not the kind you might expect. Take a look at this special report from Alyssa Hugel.
Each of Ezra's photos are anything but ordinary. Captured on his smartphone, Ezra attributes his unique style to his near-death experience. In 2016, Ezra's paraglider crashed into a wastewater reservoir. After nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes of fighting for his life, Ezra was rescued and immediately airlifted to the nearest hospital, where he suffered from organ failure and electric shocks.
From this point, I start to look at things differently. The biggest influence was on my art.
Ezra's stunning images celebrate life and provide viewers with an unusual perspective. And the coronavirus period has only heightened his unique style. Touring the country, Ezra's photos capture this novel period in the world.
הקורונה תקופה מאוד מאתגרת, הכניסה אותי למוד של עשייה מסביב לשעון. באמת מסביב לשעון לתעד פרויקטים בכל רחבי ישראל. כמובן אפשר לצאת למקומות נוספים בעולם. הכניס אותי למוד הזה בידיעה שהתקופה המאתגרת והמטורפת הזאת תסופר כאן לדורות.
If you want to see Ezra's surreal cell phone snaps, his Instagram and Facebook are open to all.
Ever sat at a restaurant with no menu? Well, ILTV went to check out an event where the chef combines passion for food and art.
Israelis are always looking for ways to stay on top, especially in the culinary world. Today we're going to attend an event where we'll enjoy some innovative dishes inspired by the chef's passion for combining both food and art.
Ever sat at a restaurant with no menu and without any idea of what you're going to be served? Well, that's exactly how it is here for the customers at the Meal and Colors event in Abu Ghosh.
People are coming here more prepared to experience something different.
Customers are expected to forget the norms of the traditional restaurant experience and enjoy a night full of delectable culinary surprises.
When you go to the restaurant, you can read the menu and pick your food. Here, nobody explains you what you're going to eat. And you experience it by seeing it, by smelling it.
The event consists of 7 extremely well-thought-out dishes, each planned to a T and cooked to perfection.
In this color menu, we play with different fields of perception, with perception of colors, of vision, of flavors, of tastes. All of this to give the customer a different experience.
Each dish is served in a uniform color, each representing its own theme and with its own story to tell.
So now I'm plating the appetizer, which will be the only dish in this whole dinner that carries many different colors and many different places on the spectrum. We start by this so we can play a bit with their mind. And I really love this Japanese aesthetics.
So this is the orange dish. Wow. For every dish, I had a special music list prepared. So this is Ladino, actually. It's Jewish music from Spain.
Okay.
This dish is about the warmth, about the sense of family.
Wow, so original. Amazing. So smooth and creamy. Gives you that warm feeling that he was talking about.
The favorite dish today was the sweet bread, which looked very nice and was very tasty. I couldn't guess what it was.
Neither could I.
But I loved it.
In the green dish, you'll find lots of fresh and flavorful herbs that Nadav foraged himself.
You want to try? We'll take from a big one. It's very strong. This is bad bitter.
It is bitter. Spicy.
But
Who knew
the
these
thing is,
herbs have such a strong flavor?
The unique dish, which consists of nuts, berries, eggplants, and many herbs, was intended to give diners the sense that they're exploring the color and flavors of a natural forest.
This is absolutely amazing. Such interesting flavors. I'm enjoying every bite.
The unique event house in Abu Ghosh called Hamatpera is designed in an eclectic industrial style as it was once a sewing workshop. Today it hosts private and cultural events of all kinds.
art and food have all over the years a complicated relationship. And we're trying to bring food for a higher level as art.
Inspired to cook a delicious dinner? Danielle from Kosher.com teaches us how to cook up a tropical style sea bass dinner. Take a look.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dinner with Danielle right here on Kosher.com. I am so excited to be here today. We are making one of my favorite dinners. We are making a fish dinner. Tonight, we are bringing on the flavor. To be exact, we are bringing on the tropical flavor. The star of the show tonight is our sea bass. I agree, it is a pricier fish, and I know what you're thinking. Why would I make that for a weeknight dinner? So let me tell you what I did. I love sea bass because when you cook it, it kind of always stays moist. Even if you forget about it for a few extra minutes, this, that, you get those crispy edges, but it's still really tender on the inside. And we're gonna cook it in such a way that you can actually feed a lot of people for very little money. What I did was I bought a 6-inch piece of sea bass and I just sliced it almost all the way to the bottom, Hasselback style, if you will, so that when we stick it in the oven, it's gonna spread where the slices are. We'll get extra crispiness, stay tender because it's compact together, and then you can just scoop it out. So instead of giving one fillet per person, you could easily feed 8, 9, or 10 people with this if you serve it on the side of a really nice big salad with some garlic bread or something like that. You can definitely stretch this and get the most of your money and still serve a delicious sea bass dinner. So let's talk about the marinade now. I love everything about this. The first thing you want to do is get 1 mango cubed, cut up, and stuck in the blender. Then for a little bit of heat, because we are going tropical here and we do need some heat to balance out the sweetness, we are using shishito peppers. I love shishitos. They're very, very mild. They have a really nice florally fruity taste. They roast up so deliciously, but we'll get to that soon. So we're gonna add 1 of those to our food processor, 1 clove of garlic, the zest of 1 lime. Yum. The second you start to zest a lime, you could smell it, and it just smells so good. There's a reason why everybody loves limes, because they're delicious and they're so beautiful. Get all that good zestiness right in there. We're gonna slice it in half and use the juice. No lime waste in my house. Even smushed, they're beautiful. And the last ingredient in our marinade is coconut cream. Coconut comes in a few different forms in the can. There's coconut milk, coconut water, and coconut cream. Each one has a higher fat content. You want to look for the cream. And when you buy it, usually there's a solid part of coconut on top, and on the bottom it separates, and that's coconut water. You want to use the cream part. See, it's white and thick and creamy. You can't really have an island dish without coconut. It sort of goes together like peas and carrots. We're gonna get our cover on and we're gonna zhuzh this up. The second you open up your food processor, you right away get the smell of that mango and the really mild heat from the shishito. First thing we want to do, season up our fish with a good sprinkling of salt and pepper. Sprinkle from high up so that your seasoning distributes evenly. Get some pepper. You can go light on the pepper because there is heat in the marinade. And now we're just gonna pour 3/4 of the marinade over the fish. We're gonna reserve a little bit of it, well, you'll see, for what's next. I'm just gonna get a glove on because I really wanna get into all those nooks and crannies that we created in the fish. I'm just gonna add flavor everywhere. Yum, it's gonna be so good. Okay, let's spread that out. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. Keep a nice thick coating on top. Fish is one textured, and food needs to be a multi-textural experience because it just makes it taste better. It does. It's funner when you have something soft and something crunchy and something creamy. So we are gonna add texture now. Because we're living in the islands today, we are using macadamia nuts. They are lightly roasted and salted. You just wanna put them in a Ziploc bag, take a rolling pin, give it a few good whacks. This is actually a really good way to get your kids involved. My kids love banging anything, especially with a rolling pin. All right, we're just gonna go in with a sprinkling of our, oh my gosh. Yes, yes, yes. You know it's gonna be crunchy because the nuts are gonna stay crunchy, and it's gonna be such a good topping because it pairs so well with the coconut and the mango. Are you guys seeing how good this is gonna be? I hope so. This is just amazing. Don't be stingy here. They're delicious. They add crunch. And last but not least, just because I like to drive home the flavor and I like to see what's in the food, a sprinkling of unsweetened shredded coconut. This looks like vacation. You're basically on vacation when you make this. You don't even need to eat it. You can just make it and it's as if you're away. And it smells delicious. Okay, we're gonna get our oven preheated. Meanwhile, we are gonna make something to serve this with. We are gonna make some roasted veggies. I have some green beans here that I just cut the ends off of. Sprinkle those babies right on. And then, to drive home the goodness, we are gonna roast up some of these shisitos. They are so good and delicious. They get a little bit sweeter and more of the flavor comes out. They're so yum. We're just gonna mix that right in. There we go. And don't think we forgot about our extra marinade. We're gonna get that right on top. You don't even have to mix it in, just drizzle it over. Yes. When food looks so good raw that you don't even wanna wait to cook it, you know you're in for a good dinner. Season these up with some salt and pepper. A very light drizzle of olive oil, like we're talking 1/4 teaspoon here. There we go. And that's it. This whole dinner took minutes to prepare. We're gonna stick it in the oven for such a short time and you are gonna be transported to another land very, very soon. Look at what we have going on. Look at how perfectly it's cooked. It's so moist and soft. You have those crispy edges. The nuts got crisp and look at these. Look at this tray of goodness. It got crispy. It soaked up a little bit of that mango shishito flavor. I think, I'm not even gonna wait. Let's just go right in. Roasted veggies done right are just delicious. Okay, let's plate this up. I have some salad here, some really nice sturdy leafy greens to hold up to our strong fish. Let's get a piece of our fish in here. Oh my gosh. One piece is not gonna be enough for me. Oh yes. Let's gather up some of our shishito and string beans. Pile those right over our salad so we get a little bit of salad, a little bit of fish, a little bit of string bean, shishito in every bite. Oh my gosh. And then let's go back to our basic building block recipe. Grab a little balsamic vinaigrette. If you made a cider vinaigrette or a lemon vinaigrette, it will all be fine. Just a little something to dress your leaves with. Oh my gosh. Last but not least, garnish. A little bit of cilantro to draw home all those island flavors. A little bit for me and a little bit for you. Look at that. Who would not want to eat that for dinner? I don't know. It looks amazing. It's literally transportative. Time to dig in. I am so excited. I gotta get a piece of the fish first. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at how moist and juicy it is, and you got the crunch on top. You see the yellow from the mango. Here we go. I could smell the ocean air, and I'm so happy right now. The only thing that could complete this dinner is some sort of rum-based cocktail, or just the rum. Thanks so much for joining me on our island adventure today. For this recipe and more delicious recipes, head on over to kosher.com. Bye guys.
Many people wonder what makes cheese kosher or not kosher. Rabbi Moshe Elfant from Kosher.com will fill you in on the mystery ingredient that makes kosher certification vital for eating cheese.
Many people wonder about the supervision and the certification of cheeses. And there are people that assume, well, if I'm not makpid and I'm not strict about only eating or drinking chov yisrael, all cheeses should be fine. That is absolutely incorrect. Cheese is a food, particularly hard cheese, that requires a very serious supervision. The reason is because particularly in the times of the Talmud, the way cheese was made, it's still made that way, is with putting rennet into the milk. And rennet usually came from an animal, a non-kosher animal. And therefore, to be sure that that isn't the way the cheese you're going to eat was manufactured, the rule is that all cheeses need to be produced under strict rabbinical supervision, with the rabbi, the mashgiach, actually being the one that puts the rennet into the milk. Like that, you're guaranteed that the cheese is 100% kosher. And even if you know that this cheese was made only with kosher rennet, it doesn't make a difference. Very little animal rennet is used nowadays. Most of the rennet that's used to manufacture cheese is microbial rennet. Yet, the halacha remains the halacha. And hard cheese can only be kosher when manufactured with the supervision and intervention of the mashgiach.
And finally, let's take a look at the ILTV interview with Yad Ezra and Shulamit to find out how you can help those in need. Watch this.
Now finally, Passover is around the corner, and while Israel is on its way out of the pandemic, the effect of the coronavirus is still felt all over the world, especially economically. And that's why this year has seen a dramatic rise in the number of people asking for donations, and charities have been working overtime to meet the demand of those who are down on their luck. So joining us with more from one such company is Shalom Zaidel of Yad Ezra Shulamit. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me, Aaron.
All right, so my first question is, tell us more about this Passover initiative and how many people are you actually aiming to help?
Yeah, our numbers have exploded exponentially, honestly, frankly, skyrocketed. There's what we call, not only us, but other organizations call the new poor. There are tens of thousands of additional people because of Corona, which we call it, the world calls it COVID, we call it Corona, that have come to our services. We've always served everybody, Aaron, but we're seeing a major increase of all sectors of society, which is from everywhere. The Ethiopian community, Russian community, Holocaust survivors, regular secular, people of Israel. And it's tens of thousands of more demands.
Can you expand a little bit about how your work, Yad Ezra Shulamit, has expanded in the last year during the pandemic?
Well, we used to have 4 or 5 trucks. A year later, we're up to 10 trucks. We're literally doubled the amount of people, close to the amount, and we serve 47 cities across Israel. We have 80 location points where people either pick up or bring through volunteers, and people do pick up. So we're more than 200,000 people that we're going to be touching. 50,000 food baskets, food vouchers will be given out this year, have already mostly been given out, and still next few days to go.
And I'm guessing that it's still a long way to go.
Honestly, yes. It's an amazing and very difficult, what's the word for it? Just logistically way of being able to give out 50,000 food baskets and vouchers.
So what's in the Passover kit? What's included?
It's the regular staple items that you can imagine. Of course, it's boxes of matzah, grape juice, wine, eggs, chicken or vouchers for chickens. There's people in Britain who literally donate tens of thousands of the cost of chickens. Of course, fruits and vegetables, canned items, sugar, salt, mayonnaise, things like that.
Household goods.
Household goods, and people, for families who need it. And there are tens of thousands.
Huge difference, of course.
Big time.
So, all right, where can viewers go to donate? How can we help from home? And how many volunteers have you expanded to include?
Oh gosh, when you imagine like 47 cities and 80 location points, it's exploded. There were, certainly more than 1,000 volunteers, that's for sure.
Which shows an incredible, Israeli community.
Which has always been that way, as we see. Yad Ezra has been around for 25 years or so. We're looking, people to at least minimally donate a food basket. It's $100. A large basket is $160. It's on our website, yadezra.net. We need everybody's support. We're getting a lot of it, but we need more of it because of the exponential growth of the people who are the new poor, unfortunately, in Israel.
All right. Well, Shalom Zaidel, Yad Ezra Shulamit. Again, I'll tell everybody at home, go to yadezra.net and see if you can pitch in. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having us, Aaron.
That's all for today's Good Week Israel. Hope we've helped you start your week off with a smile. I'm Emmanuel Kadosh, and see you next week.